two Taiguns have now done over 1,300 kilometers from Los Angeles to Las Vegas and then to the Grand Canyon and back to Vegas. And today we are exploring more of this continent's most spectacular natural beauty. We left Las Vegas early enough and made a straight dash to Death Valley in California. The drive to Death Valley goes through some stark and very flat countryside with smooth and very straight highways. There was scant traffic and so we made very good time. The Taiguns holding up just fine and also managing some good mileage numbers. The distance to Death Valley from Las Vegas is around 120 miles, which is almost 200 kilometers. Raw, earthy vistas like that, a whole lot of beautiful places to see, some very unusual topography, and of course, large sections that sit well below sea level. That and more is what Death Valley in California is very well known for the world over. But in our automotive universe, it's known for a whole different reason. Now, you've heard of a lot of the winter testing, all the cold weather stuff happening way up north in the Arctic Circle region of Sweden. Well, all the hot weather testing, or a lot of it, happens right here in Death Valley because in the summer, temperatures go well past 50 degrees centigrade. Luckily for us, it ain't summer, and right now, temperatures are around just 20 degrees. Death Valley is a dry, arid desert valley that is spread over almost 3,000 square miles. That is nearly 7,800 square kilometers. It makes up the northern end of the Mojave Desert and has recorded the highest ambient temperature on Earth at 56.7 degrees Celsius way back in 1913. It boasts the highest elevation of 11,043 feet and also a lowest of 282 feet below sea level. Now, Death Valley is a lot like Ladakh, right? In terms of just the kind of terrain and topography you see here. Lots of hues of different colors in the rock and very sharp, jagged mountains. But there's a whole lot more variety here as well. You've got salt flats, you've got lots of areas below sea level, of course, far below sea level. And look at all the number of cars here. Lots of people do come here to visit because you also have sand dunes, the Mesquite sand dunes. It's a place people come to go off-roading, just walk around, and even to have some photo shoots. This is my second trip here and I cannot tell you how gorgeous it is. Yogendra and I could not stop taking pictures. The Taiguns looked completely at home, and I guess the design language helps since they are so in line with VW's global lineup.
And the red car has been kind of Yogen's domain for a while now, so we've kind of stayed on separate cars as well, following all our protocols, but just gave this one a wipe down. Decided, at least while we're here in Death Valley, I want to be able to experience the manual for a little while. So taking it for a spin while the guys get some lunch. Some of the views here at Death Valley are just superb. You're spellbound by just how gorgeous pure rock and mud can be. Driving through it is also a pleasure because this whole region has very smooth roads and there isn't like a whole lot of traffic, which is great. Cars have been doing great too. Nice and efficient, because the other thing we don't have too many of in this area are fuel pumps.
We have now clocked close to 2,000 kilometers since we left LA And now, thanks to my little pre-lunch excursion, the manual has clocked a little bit extra.
Alright, rejoined my yellow steed. Now time for me to get some lunch. Important to mask up first. Alright, see you later.
Lunch was a typical hearty, all-American affair, complete with the soda and the fries, and it couldn't have come at a better time as we were pretty famished. If you are coming to Death Valley, plan your lunch halt well because, well, the options are very few.
There's something so rustic and old world about Death Valley. You see all these signboards and little information signages from way back when, I suppose, because I just passed one that said, avoid engine overheating, turn off your AC for the next 20 miles. Well, that's of course at the time when the temperature here was very high. These days, the modern cars, they don't usually have that kind of a problem, just as well. Speaking of modern cars, this particular one is pretty modern, right? And thank God for that too, because you've got all this. You've got the connectivity suite, I've got the virtual cluster, and I can change the view on that virtual cluster as well. There we go. And of course, in all that trip information, the thing I've been keeping track of by driving really well is the kind of mileage I'm getting. Now we've switched to the US units here, so everything is miles and gallons. So I'm getting consistently about 35 miles per gallon. That's what I try to maintain over the, well, now almost 2,000 kilometers that we've driven. The good news is that that comes to about just around 15 odd kilometers per liter in our context. And that is pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that because we've done some really twisty roads, we've done some narrow roads, we've done some traffic, we've gone fast, we've gone slow. So it's not like there's been consistent only freeway kind of driving. There has been some of that, but as an overall average, I'm happy. Oh, it's a stunning, stunning, stunning sunset that we're going up towards.
Death Valley is a memorable place. It is nature at its most splendorous and wild, and it is worth a visit. The roads are good and there is limited but good accommodation. If an American road trip is calling you, this is a great place to come. As for the two Taiguns and the two of us, we still have plenty of driving left to do.